What if healing isn't a staircase but a storm? What if the days you feel broken are days you're actually rebuilding? You've been taught to chase progress like a finish line, but healing, real healing, is messy. So, a big welcome to InspireAbility. I am Ruby, and today's story is raw. It's personal. It's for anyone who's ever whispered, I thought I'll be further along by now. Let's walk through that truth together. Let's walk through those whispers together, and let's see how we can make sense of things that don't necessarily make sense. Let's begin with the expectations of progress. And I'll start with my story. In the early days of my recovery, I had a notebook. I'll jot down every win. Things like I sat up for 5 minutes today. I was able to dress myself alone. Remarkable. I spoke on the phone for 10 minutes without any headaches. I was chasing progress like a checklist. I wanted to accomplish things and I wrote them down because then I had things to say to people that I'd been able to do. And for me, it felt as if all of those things were proof, were signs, were evidences that I was making progress. I was healing. I was doing things like I should do. I realized that that was what the society teaches us. If you're not moving forward, then you're not healing. If you don't have this list of things you're able to do each day, then your healing is slow, it's not progressive, you're not doing enough to get better. But then came the crashes, the pain flare-ups, the emotional spirals. I would think, oh gosh, I failed again. I would mourn each backward step. I felt they were backward steps. I felt I was not doing enough, and if I continued at that pace, I would not get the healing I needed. I pushed myself because I felt that was what I was required to do. It was being demanded of me. You need to push yourself, you need to go against what your body feels like doing, you need to do more. But it's just what I did not realize at that time. I did not realize that healing isn't a straight line, it's a spiral. You revisit the same pain from deeper perspectives. You have curves, you have ups, you have downs. You have the right side, the left side, you have in betweens. It's not just a straight line. I did not realize that one is allowed to grow in circles, not on ladders, not like you're climbing a straight ladder up or you're climbing it down. That was not my perspective, and that was not what the society taught me. That wasn't the norm. There were days I felt quite strong. Strong meaning I would never gain the strength I had before the accident, but I was stronger than other days. But there were days I couldn't even lift my head. I couldn't even lift a finger. I realized it, though not at the time, that These were all part of the process. These days where I felt good, I felt strong, and these days where I just couldn't do anything were all part of the process. They were all part of the making, they were all part of the healing. Healing isn't about constant improvement, it's about showing up again and again, even when it hurts, even when it's difficult. Being able to do what you could do when you could do it was healing. Oh, it was hard learning this. It was difficult accepting this. Especially when everything around you and everyone around you was speaking a language very different from that. I think that was tougher than even what I was learning from my body's response to the process. So let's look at when survival is the progress. Now, I've been taught that progress is when you do things, when you just keep doing, tick those checklists, check those things off your list. That's progress. But then there's another type of progress, and that's what we want to talk about: survival. One day I couldn't get out of bed. The pain was brutal. I was angry, ashamed, exhausted. I felt as if I wasn't giving my all. I wasn't giving my best. And I needed to prove a point to myself. I needed to prove a point to everybody. But it was exhausting. And I was so frustrated. I was so upset. It was just one of those days. But then I remember texting somebody and saying to them, I've done nothing today. I feel so useless. I've not been able to achieve anything. And then she responded and said, well, you survived. That's not nothing. Well, that touched something deep in me. That made a difference. It made so much difference to what I was thinking, how I was thinking, and how I was viewing things. That was the day I stopped measuring healing by productivity. Because rest is also progress. Crying is progress. Choosing to breathe through another hard moment, through another time of pain and ache and very hard feelings, that is healing too. It's not just when I think I've accomplished so much. No, that's just one aspect of healing. Everything else along the way is also healing. I had to learn to begin to celebrate different milestones. Things like letting someone help me cook dinner. I struggled with that. I just felt some things were my duties, were my responsibilities, and it was difficult getting help, asking for help. I tried to push, I tried to do everything, but my body would not allow me to do it, which was very frustrating. I would apologize for asking for help. I would apologize for being supported. I just went on and on and on. But this shift in my mindset made me realize that no, I could get help. I could accept help without having to apologize every step of the way. I had to learn that I don't have to say I'm okay when I was not feeling okay. That it was okay to say I was not okay, and I did not have to feel guilty about it. It was okay to ask for help, to get help, and not feel guilty or feel bad about it. It was okay for my little boy to bring me cup of drink, a cup of water, a plate of nibbles of snack without me sobbing about it. It was fine because that was all part of the healing process. And they felt joy in doing it for me anyway. Healing isn't always visible. Sometimes it's just surviving the day that counts. Taking that moment, living through that moment, living through that pain, living through that anguish, living through that emotion. That's what counts. And sometimes that's the healing you need for the day. Not being able to jump out of bed and do everything that needs to be done. No. Being able to live through the moment sometimes is all that counts, that matters for that healing. Let's talk about the emotional roller coaster. Oh, I had a lot of those. The emotional chaos, I had a lot of those. Because healing isn't just physical, it's emotional, spiritual, relational. One moment you can find yourself laughing, the next you're sobbing like a child over something so small. Something people look around and think, wow, is she okay? And you yourself, you're thinking, am I losing it? Why am I sobbing for nothing? Why the tears? Why the waterworks? This is all part of it. Healing is when you go through these emotions and you go through them healthily, successfully. You are healing. Your body is releasing. Your spirit is recalibrating. Grief, trauma, disabilities, they don't move in straight lines. They come in waves. And every emotion is a messenger. It's telling you something. It's helping you to get to familiar with something. It has its own message. And it has something it's doing to facilitate the process of healing. Joy says, you're still alive. Anger says something needs to change. Sadness says you're letting go. And peace. Peace says you're learning to trust again. All of these are valid emotions. I learned to allow myself go through all of them when I needed them. They presented themselves and I had to walk through each and every one of them. And it was okay to do that. Rewriting the healing narrative. How do you rewrite such a narrative? How do you change a society that's been so conditioned in a certain way with strong perspectives about healing? Healing isn't glamorous. It can be very lonely. It can be very slow. And it often goes unnoticed. You feel you're in the world all by yourself. You're the one going through the pains. You can't even describe it sometimes. You can't even say the words. And when you even try, tears come instead of the words to articulate what you're feeling. But in those quiet moments, when you feel broken, messy, or stagnant, that's where your soul is rearranging itself. That's where resilience is being born in silence. That's where you're building a strength that will carry you through times for the future. The truth is, healing doesn't always look like progress. No, most times actually it looks the very opposite, like setback. Like you're never going to pull this. You're never going to be able to master this act. You're never going to be able to succeed with this. It doesn't feel like progress. It doesn't look like progress, but it is progress. Whether you're smiling today or barely holding on, you're doing it. And that's what counts. That's what matters. That is progress. That is healing. And that's what is beautiful. You don't need to prove your healing. You just need to live it. No. And that was something I found challenging. I felt I needed to prove something to myself, to everybody around me. I didn't want them to applaud me, that well done. Maybe it was because of my personality as well. I needed to do. I was a doer. I was the person that found solution to problems. I did not sit with problems. I broke problems into pieces. I handed out solutions. So this was me having all these mountains, and it was as if they weren't going. They were crumbling me, crushing me. And for the first time, I was holding on to mountains of problems, and I couldn't fix them quickly, sharply, intelligently, smartly, strategically. All of my methods were just not working this time, and it did something to me. So I felt I wasn't healing because that was not the norm for me. But I had to learn to realize that I did not need to prove anything, not even to myself or to anybody else. I just needed to live through my process of healing. And it dawned on me that my process of healing is very different from any other person's process. So I need to live through my process, own my process, and walk through that, live through that each day, and have a heart of gratitude for living through it my own way. It was my journey. I need to live through my journey of healing, honoring your pace. There are not deadlines, no time frames on healing, no gold medals for rushing through pain. But sometimes it feels as if they are good medals. You hear side comments, you see side looks, you get people nudging you on, and you feel as if they think you can do more than you're doing. Or you get them talk about somebody that had a similar thing and they got up within 2 days. You hear all sorts, and it's meant to inspire you. But sometimes it does the direct opposite because they're trying for you to live another person's journey. The situations might look similar, but they're not exactly the same. Your body, your experience is different from theirs. They walk through their healing the way that was best for them, and you have to be allowed to walk through your healing the way that is best for you. Your pace, your journey is sacred. Love it, own it. Your rhythm is holy, it's all yours. And you should celebrate your pace, your own journey, not competing against somebody else's or not comparing against somebody else's. No, it is your journey, it's your healing, it's sacred, it's holy, it's surreal, it's unique, it's all about you. So today, I honor your journey. Whether you're sprinting or you are crawling, it doesn't matter. What matters is you're moving, and that's enough. Even if every move you make, it's not looking as if you're taking any step forward. You're moving on the spot. That's fine as well. That's what counts. That's what matters. And that is just enough because that's what your journey requires. So, what does healing look like for you today? Do leave a comment. No matter how small you think it is, it might help someone else feel less alone. It might help them walk through their own journey and appreciate what they're going through and learn to love themselves, believe in themselves, and embrace their journey. I want to encourage you to subscribe to InspireAbility for more stories that honor your journey. No matter where you are on the path, are you at the beginning? Are you at the end? Are you somewhere in between? Or have you been stuck for quite a while? That's fine as well. Just remember, healing doesn't always look like progress. And it's okay because it is happening anyway. And right now, that healing is happening in you, regardless of how it looks. So please do embrace it. No matter the challenge, I need you to remember that you can live fully. You can thrive with support. Keep moving forward with hope. Keep going each day at a time. Embrace your journey. Embrace your healing process. You are making the progress you need to make each day. Tell yourself it's okay. Tell yourself it's fine. This is InspireAbility. Let's rise together. You are uniquely you. I am uniquely me. And we are uniquely us. And we can walk this journey of embracing our challenges and disabilities and living through it all as the wonderful people we are. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now. Bye.